We got some interesting news here. Fresh off the fight with Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier is setting his sights on Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz is calling him out as well. They both want to fight each other. They both verbally agreed to it. Ariel Helwani, who's close to this, confirmed that they're both serious about this. And they want to fight each other in January, next month. That is pretty crazy. All credit to Dustin Poirier taking on a fight like this in a division that he's never fought in before because they want to fight at 170. Dustin Poirier, for the first time in his career, wants to move up to 170. He doesn't want to make the cut again to 155. And at the moment, he wants fun, money fights. And it's a fight that was supposed to happen back in the day, if you remember. But Dustin was the one that pulled out due to an injury. And ever since, him and Nate have not been on the right foot. They do not like each other, man. They respect each other's skills, but we all know it's definitely going to be a scrap. If this fight does happen, Conor's about to get them Twitter fingers ready, man. Dustin Poirier even tweeted out something similar to what Conor said before he fought Dustin. Whoever shoots is Dusty, and if Dustin's going to live up to his word, as unwise as that is, he's saying he's not going to shoot for takedowns to make the fight easy. He's going to put on a show, go after Nate, and most likely box with him, maybe some leg kicks here and there. But ultimately, if that's the kind of fight this is going to be, it can turn out quite competitive. The X factor about the fight is we've never seen Dustin fight at 170. We don't know if his cardio is going to be intact. We don't know how powerful he's going to be. And the fight most definitely will have to be 5 rounds. There's no way this fight can be a 3-rounder, even if it's not the main event. If we look at the UFC 270 card, which is happening on January 22nd, the main event is Francis Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane. The co-main event is Brandon Moreno versus Davis Figueiredo. You can fit this fight right below those two, and as Nate Diaz said before, the only time he'll take part of a pay-per-view and allow a fight to be ahead of him as a main event is if it's a heavyweight title fight. That's by Nate Diaz's words. And January, combined with that stipulation, makes this perfect, and it will draw a lot of numbers on that pay-per-view card. Because here's the thing about the UFC, I don't think they'll ever put Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier as a main event to a pay-per-view. If they really want to drive up the pay-per-view numbers for UFC 270 starting 2022 strong, I think this is a great move, man. And ultimately, it could be a pretty good fight. Two southpaw fighters mostly rely on their boxing going at it, high pace with high volume. This can turn out to be one of the most exciting fights in recent time. I do believe Dustin would win the fight, but given the X factors coming into this, not only Dustin never fighting at 170 before, but the fact he's coming off a fresh loss to Charles Oliveira, and he seems to be pretty down about the fight, almost like he's depressed. I mean, he said all he's been doing is eating cookies, sitting at home. He said he doesn't even know what he's doing anymore. He's disappointed in his performance. He was talking as a guy who's feeling pretty depressed about the loss to Oliveira. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, going right into a fight with Nate Diaz. Because he said a fight with Nate Diaz would be something that would motivate him, as he's not motivated to fight contenders to chase a belt right now. It could be substitution for his depression, just to get him to do something, and I believe that's not the right state of mind you want to be in, preparing for a fight with Nate Diaz, and ultimately can even the fight a bit, where Dustin Poirier on paper should be able to win through his leg kicks, his power advantage, his ability to get in on Nate, counter Nate with right hooks and stuff like that. But even on paper, it's not like Nate can't do anything. Nate is always going to be somewhat competitive with Dustin. Because for an example, on Dustin's entries from a far distance against such a longer fighter like Nate, Nate is the longest and tallest guy that Dustin's ever fought before. Those entries that Dustin's going to have to come in there with, maybe shift combos, maybe throwing a left from a distance. The fact that Nate is southpaw is going to open up that shift combo for the overhand right at the end of it. Nate's counter to this is clinching up. He does it against everybody. He's becoming much better of a clinch fighter than a boxer these days. His ability to control the opponent against the cage, constantly clamping on the wrists, land a lot of body shots, knees to the body, knees to the head like he dropped Anthony Pettis, disengaging for a short barrage to the body and to the head. His clinch game is elite, man. And that's the thing that Dustin Poirier is going to have to respect in this fight. The jab from a distance is also going to be a huge play for Nate, and pull back check right hooks, as Dustin is going to reach out for his own punches. In fact, the more I think about the fight, the higher I give Nate a chance in this. But there's always going to be that big question. When is the damage that Nate has absorbed in his career going to catch up with him? Is it going to be the Dustin fight? Is it going to be later? Is it going to be durable enough in this fight with the damage not really affecting him yet? Because even against Leon Edwards in his last contest, he got beat up bad for the majority of that fight. And there's always going to be anticipation until when the damage catches up with Diaz. But without looking at that, man, this fight should be competitive. Nate has a big shot, especially mentally in this one. Dustin definitely has a big shot when it comes on paper with his skills, especially if he wrestles. If Dustin wrestles in this fight, his chances do skyrocket. But man, I cannot wait for this one. I hope they make it. It makes perfect sense for both fighters. I know the majority of us fans are going to love it.